Join us every Wednesday for InFocus, a weekly talk show produced by the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service, where we provide exclusives with key persons within the government and discuss pertinent, relevant, and interesting matters that affect us all. Tune in every Wednesday, live on ZIZ Radio and streamed live on Facebook at SKNIS Media and ZIZ Online. InFocus, your government, your business.
I'm Ian Richards. Welcome to InFocus. First, let me apologize for the late start. Well, St. Kitts has been the buzziest destination for travel and cruise over the past months, according to local tourism officials, as the tourism sector has rebounded with a bang following the lifting of all COVID-19 related travel restrictions in August last year. The Minister of Tourism and her team at the Ministry and the St. Kitts Tourism Authority have been working tirelessly to promote the destination, encouraging visitors to venture deeper. Joining us today to share the reimagined vision for tourism is the Minister herself, the Honourable Marsha Henderson, and also Alistair Williams, who is the Executive Director of the Tourism Events Unit and Chair of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Stay with us as we delve into your government, your business. Welcome back to InFocus, and we welcome the Minister of Tourism, Honourable Marsha Henderson, and also Mr. Alistair Williams, the Chair of the St. Kitts Music Festival, and also the Executive Director of the Tourism Events Unit within the Ministry. Welcome to InFocus.
Thank you, Ian. It's a pleasure being here, actually.
Right. Minister, I want to start with you and speak about the fact that it's been essentially 8 months since you were elected to office.
10, actually.
10 months since you were.
Yes, I'm counting the days, the hours, yes.
Certainly, time has been going by very quickly.
Yes, indeed.
So, you're a lawyer by profession. How would you say your transition has been from a practicing lawyer to a minister, particularly as the Minister of Tourism?
Right. For me, Ian, it's not much of a transition because in law, I served people. We offered a service where we advocated for the rights of our clients, and similarly, it's, you know, in tourism, we serve, it's a service industry as well, and even on a constituency level, it's serving our constituents. The demand, though, is a lot more than practicing law. So it's been a good transition. I have an amazing team, which makes it even more easier. Alistair, who's here with me, who happens to be on my team, they're seasoned in the industry and technocrats, and so they've made it a seamless transition. And
Mr. Williams, as the Minister mentioned, you're a seasoned technocrat. You've been there for quite a number of while. So can you give the public a sense of what it is the Ministry of Tourism is essentially responsible for?
Okay, well, the Ministry of Tourism is responsible for quite a number of things. Of course, foremost among them is the brand awareness and for the destination, and of course, bringing visitors to the country to see what we have to offer as far as tourism is concerned. But we also do quite a lot of work locally because, of course, we have to prepare our people in order to welcome those from overseas. So we do quite a lot in that regard as well as, you know, look after our heritage, our patrimony, as, you know, some would say, so that not only visitors but also locals can enjoy. So we do quite a number of things that, you know, must come together in a collective way in order to advance the development of St. Kitts.
And Minister, I imagine that, of course, you would have come in with your own ideas in terms of being able to transform tourism in St. Kitts. So how would you say that the team, how supportive has the team been, and you've been working with them to reimagine tourism here in St. Kitts?
Extremely, the team has been extremely important, notwithstanding. I mean, we have a strategic plan that I met in place that was spent, and the team was functioning without a plan, but they themselves understand the industry, what it takes for us to compete with other destinations, what it takes for us to work with stakeholders, who the stakeholders are, what their needs are. So the team was essentially the core of the overall operation in the industry. So notwithstanding me coming with my thoughts in terms of moving the industry forward, the team understood when we sat down together, the different departments, we sat together, I'm sure Alistair remember what we decided, what do we need to do to move the product forward, and the team was instrumental in it as well.
And Mr. Williams, similarly, give us a sense of your involvement in moving this vision forward and in reimagining tourism in St. Kitts. How has that been?
Well, it has been an incredible journey, I would like to say, because, as of course, it's a new administration, and, there are new initiatives, new ideas coming on board. But at the end of the day, for me specifically, my unit deals with events, and of course, events meaning things such as the St. Kitts Music Festival. Of course, we do Restaurant Week and Tourism Month, but Music Festival is our anchor event, and of course, that is intended also to continue with creating that awareness about the destination and to get visitors to come in. The music is just part of the strategy to get them here, and once they're here, we get them to explore and to learn and to immerse themselves in our culture and mingle with our people and learn more about us, because at the end of the day, we cannot sell the destination without selling who we are as a people. And so my unit is intended to help with that part of the vision, to get people here, to get them to learn about us, to know about us, and to experience what we have to offer. One of the things we are doing as we approach the summer, we are producing quite a number of activities that will lure visitors to the Federation, but it's intended at the end of the day to create livelihoods and to ensure that there's some continuity as far as tourism is concerned, and there's the economic activity and spin-offs from the whole hosting of these events.
And as Mr. Williams speak about the fact of getting persons to experience the local culture, to basically to delve into everything here, it's basically the focus of the Venture Deeper campaign,
Absolutely.
which is what you would have launched when you first came into office.
Right, and when you look at the trends, you would see that that is what visitors are looking for. I'm so amazed when I go sometimes to sell the destination and things we take for granted here. For example, who we are as a people is what makes the destination unique and authentic, and how it can be distinguished from even other destinations. Where one of the things under the new campaign is our people, our culture, our history, our culinary. So for example, black pudding, where does that come from? Cook up, which is our local food. Cook up, for example, back in slavery, the slave masters got the leaner parts of the meat, and our ancestors got the scraps. What did we do with the scraps? We took pig snout, we took pigtail, we took the all the other things that you put in cook up, and we made delicacies with them. We have sauce that's made from pig feet. We have pigtail that we barbecue. We have the blood pudding, or black pudding as we call it, where we take the intestines and we cook it in blood and season the rice and cook it. And we've come up with our delicacy. I mean, visitors are so interested in our stories, who we are, what we eat, why we do what we do. So for us, one of the big things is the heritage. The heritage of our people, of the destination, and that's what we're pushing more than the sun, the sand, and the sea, of course. I mean, visitors come for that. They can get it anywhere else, but can they get who we are as a people, our culture, how we behave anywhere else?
And that message really seems to be resonating with the international community. Of course, we recognize, and the viewers would have seen a bit of it, those watching on TV anyway or online, in terms of some of the awards, the nominations that St. Kitts and Nevis is up for. And I just want to mention some of them. It should be the World Travel Awards. We have been nominated for the Caribbean's leading destination for 2023. That would be in adventure tourism. In cultural destination, dive destination, and also tourist board again, which goes back to the hard-working team.
At SKTA.
Yes, talk to us a bit about being having these nominations, being recognized for the efforts that St. Kitts and Nevis is doing at this time.
It is. I mean, we continue to work hard, both in the ministry and at the St. Kitts Tourism Authority. The new campaign was only launched last year, and we've seen the results, the aggressive marketing and the selling of the destination. I mean, when people talk, it has to be ignorance when people say, oh, we're always on a plane. We cannot stay here and sell the destination. All of these awards that you just mentioned and the others come from aggressive marketing of the destination. When we stay here, other destinations are out there competing with us. So when we stay in our little cozy corner, and how do people get here? How do they know about us? A lot of people, even in Europe. Last November, we went to London. We did road tours in Kent, Surrey. We went West London and other places just to sell the destination. And can you imagine, Ian, some people didn't even know St. Kitts existed. Now, can you stay here and get people to know about us? And so we have to go out there and we sell the destination, and I'm happy that we're seeing results. That's in the St. Kitts Tourism Authority. Within the ministry, we are working on delivering a product that we sell. You don't want, when you sell something, people come and see other things. So when Alista said we do a number of things. We work with our stakeholders in the industry, the hoteliers, restaurateurs, private petting vendors, taxi and tour operators, so that they understand that they have a responsibility as well in delivering a high product that benefits our visitors and our stakeholders in the industry. So I'm happy to hear that the new campaign is yielding the success. We continue to work hard. Like I keep saying, we have an amazing team. Everybody carries their own weight and understands their responsibility.
And as you refer to the work that was done in the UK, of course, it was revealed earlier this week, I think you mentioned it in Parliament, that British Airways, which primarily goes to Antigua, you could say, essentially say it's an Antigua flight. But the majority of persons on that flight are coming to St. Kitts.
Recently. Recently, but initially the apportionment was for 60%, 40%, and it fluctuates, 70, 30, it fluctuates depending on the demand. But generally most of the seats were allocated to persons going to Antigua. The objective is one day to just get an aircraft, a British Airways come specifically for us. But it's a work in progress, and all of that shows that the marketing, the work that we're doing within the ministry is yielding success as well. So,
very quickly, Minister, we want to talk a bit about some of the improvements in cruise lines. That is something that has basically, as we mentioned, rebounded after tourism. Talk to us quickly about that.
Okay.
And I say that given the fact that we had 8 inaugural calls for the cruise season last year.
And so there is a feeling that it's pent-up demand, that following the pandemic and people were locked down, there was a demand for people to travel. In fact, we just came back from New York, where we had some meetings with the Caribbean Tourism Organization, and they're saying that the trend is that that demand might start to decline, maybe like 3 to 4%. So there is the perception that maybe it had to do with the pent-up demand from the pandemic, and as well as the vigorous campaign in terms of marketing of the destination. What they've said, we've met with the cruise executive and the different cruise liners, and they've said our destination continues to come in high. So even though they have their own personal challenges, the visitors are requesting our destination. We've been scoring high on a number of things. when visitors come off and the onshore excursions, we are scoring high there. We're scoring high with customer service, our ports, the cleanliness, the professionalism. We continue to score high as a destination. And we continue to work with our stakeholders, as Alista says, where we fall short. So that may account as well for the increase and the rebound after the pandemic.
And also, you mentioned that you just came from New York. Now, it was recently announced as well that JetBlue will begin a non-stop service here Saturday, November 2nd.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, we are all excited that we can see results from our strategy, because everything is strategic. So the strategy for Airlift, of course, everybody just thinks build a bigger airport and we're going to get more flights. It doesn't work that way. You must have the demand for the destination one, and we need hotels. And so as a government, we're also working to get developers and investors to come and invest in hotels. We need more brand hotels. We have one 5-star hotel here in St. Kitts and one in Nevis, the Four Seasons in Nevis and Park Hyatt in St. Kitts. So once we can build room stock, Airlift increases. But we were struggling, however, even with the not sufficient rooms to get the demand for Airlift, we were struggling with travel interregionally and even internationally. So the introduction of JetBlue is significant for us because New York is our biggest source market, the north side of New York, of the US. What happens is we see people coming through Miami. It's not that Miami is the biggest part where our visitors come from, they actually come from the north. And so the initiation of JetBlue's service is significant in that regard, that we can have direct flights from our biggest source market. It's year-round. Not only is it in our biggest source market, it's also year-round, 3 times per week. So that is going to be significant in the industry. To have direct flights from our biggest source market, not just once a week, but 3 times weekly, we should see the impact there. And so we're happy to have JetBlue. We're excited. I'm told that the flights are almost packed for November and December. And when I checked last week, round trips were like 400 to 500 US, which is significantly less than some other carriers. But we're happy to have them all. We now have direct flights and year-round flights from the UK, from Northern America, which is New York, JFK, and out of Miami. And we do also have out of Atlanta, which is seasonal, Delta. We have United, and I'm not sure if you followed what we said in Parliament in terms of the updates, that United would now be longer as opposed to ending in March. The service would go to August. So still seasonal, but November to August is still a significant time. So
well, those markets that you mentioned are very important indeed, but also important is the Caribbean.
Right.
Intra-regional travel.
Right.
The ministry and the government, of course, has addressed that by forming a partnership with Inter-Caribbean. How has that been working out?
Extremely well. We're always transparent, and we have an MRG in place, which is a minimum revenue guarantee. That simply means if the flights don't come full, that we have to pay. Of course, everything is supposed to be for profits. And so if the flights didn't come full, we would have to pay on that MRG. All of the load factors for each flight is 90 to 100%, which means that we have not paid 1 cent on the MRG since the initiation of the flights. In addition to that, our partners have agreed to increase the size of the aircraft. So now operating at RLB is the aircraft that carries, I think it's 50 seats. We started with 28 seats. So that too has been going extremely well. We're hoping to expand even into other countries within the region as well.
And important to know that MRGs, it's not limited to St. Kitts and Nevis. You know, that is something that the airlines carry throughout with any destination.
Thank you for clarifying that as well. For people might think we're taking using taxpayers' money unwisely, but yes, MRGs are used all over. In fact, when we started with American, we had an MRG. We don't have any with American. So.
Now, Mr. Williams, getting tourists here is one thing, but how is the ministry involved in really creating opportunities to engage tourists while they're here?
Well, there's quite a number of initiatives that one can engage in. We spoke earlier about, our heritage and our culture, and so these are some of the areas that we have been working with stakeholders to augment, to develop, because at the end of the day, quite rightfully, I just said, once they're here, there must be something for them to do, because the competition, of course, they have things for them to do. And that's why we have introduced projects such as the SKNIS Music Festival. As a matter of fact, when it was introduced in 1996, it's precisely for that reason, because what we found in the summer months, coming out of the tourism season, things tend to be at a lull. So we introduced the SKNIS Music Festival with a hope of revitalizing economic activity and allowing our stakeholders to benefit from, the impact of the festival. And over the years, we have done a marvelous job. Of course, we have been around for 25 years. As you know, we celebrate 25 years this year. Well, not 25 years, but at least 25th edition. Right. And it's quite a feat, because considering when we started out, there were virtually a festival in almost every major territory in the region. We are the last one standing, perhaps. And it speaks to, the product that we are offering. So that is very important. And, of course, we have also introduced things like Restaurant Week, also in the summer month, in an effort to tie over our stakeholders until the season begins again. And that follows with CPL. And all these initiatives are put in place in order to assist our stakeholders, our people, with making a living while the season is at a low until it builds again. So all of these events and activities are intended to help to engage our stakeholders at the same time to create much needed economic activity.
And interesting, Ian, because that was the trend where it would be slow, ending at cruise season, which is the end of April. But what we've been seeing is an increase and an uptick for demand for even after April, end of May, because now flights are coming full. We used to have to do a lot, to try to get visitors between April and when the season starts again in October. But the flights, so the stayovers are now benefiting. Flights are coming packed, and like I said, we even introduced a second flight on Saturdays to meet the demand. Most of the times it's the weekend. That's when people travel. We've tried to stagger more flights into the destination on Tuesday and Thursdays with JetBlue, but there is a demand. What we've been doing clearly has been working. So the music festival, CPL, all the things we do outside of cruise tourism.
Right, and Mr. Williams, of course, mention has been made of stakeholders. Talk to us about the importance of forming those positive relationships with stakeholders, because, of course, it is up to them, for persons outside of government, within the private sector, etc., to come up with ideas to really engage persons while they're here as well. Too.
Right. Well, from a tourism events standpoint, and in particular music festival, we know those relationships are very important. I mean, we've always said that most of these initiatives that we undertake, we cannot do alone. As a government, we need the input of stakeholders in order to make them happen. And so we continue to engage them, to listen to them. I think that is one of our strong points, in that, even with respect to the music festival, and I think that is why we have been around for so long, because we listen to our stakeholders, we try to work with them, resolve their issues as the case may be, and at the same time listen to our customers, our patrons as well, because that is also equally important. And so all three work in tandem in order to ensure that we have an excellent product that we can sell to our visitors. And of course, we also work with them with regards to whatever it is, product or service they are, into, because we have to make sure that whatever it is we present is, apart from being authentic Kittian, we also want to make sure that it is of the highest standard, because of course we want our brand to be known for excellence. So that is some of the ways in which we work with them. So, and of course, training is also something that is very important to us. So even before the season starts, we try to do refresher courses and certification, recertification, in order to ensure that when the new season starts, everyone is energized and ready to, to welcome our visitors and of course our friends coming back to the destination.
Now, of course, the music festival, as you mentioned, is one of the major activities that the ministry has. Minister, tell us, how has preparations been this year? It's your first year as minister responsible for the music festival.
Right.
For the music festival, how has that been going?
Extremely well. We are, in fact, Alistair would tell you as the chair, ahead of schedule. I was pleased to hear that the venue is actually being built out. Ticket sales, we started selling tickets last week.
Physical tickets.
Physical tickets, right, and that has been going well as well. The artists are eager to come and perform. We're in for an experience like no other. For the 25th anniversary, we've introduced a toast every single night for our patrons, where we'll all toast to the 25th anniversary of the festival, compliment some of our sponsors. We're going to have the grand celebration with fireworks, confetti, and all those things in toast of the 25th anniversary. So we're ahead of schedule. Vendors, we're meeting with vendors and the different stakeholders. We are in for a show.
So the toast is something new. Mr. Williams, any insight you can share with regards to that?
Well, the toast is like the minister said, is a celebration. It's 25 years, so it's a huge milestone for us, considering, as I said before, where we came from. Because remember, when the festival started, we were new to these kind of things, but we punched above our weight, and we delivered a product that is exceptional and sustainable. Because I don't believe that we would have lasted this long had it not for those two ingredients. And like I said before, we listen to our patrons and we try to work with them. We cannot always do everything, but at least we try to do as much as we can in order to improve on each year's production. So it's been going quite well, and the toast is a celebration to the 25th anniversary where we came from. So it's going to be a combination of things: fireworks, a toast in terms of some sort of beverage, and of course we have two outstanding DJs on various nights, hyping the crowd. So it's going to be a party-like atmosphere at a specific time. Hopefully around midnight, a little after midnight, because it all depends on how the schedule flows for each night. But the intention is for it to be a party, a celebration party. And so we want folks to come out early and be there as we celebrate 25 years of excellence in music.
Now, as we talk about new initiatives within the St. Kitts Music Festival, there is a 420 lounge that is being talked about. Minister, what can you tell us about that?
Okay, so we had the first reading of where, I don't know if you were following in Parliament on Monday, we had the first reading of the legislation that allows for persons to smoke in public, and not just smoke, but smoke cannabis in public. So this is a big deal for me. It is in recognition of the decision in the Sankofa case, where the court recognized the right for people to have freedom of their conscience and belief, provided that it doesn't infringe or cause it doesn't affect the safety of others. So what we have to do as a government is to balance and acknowledge the rights of our individuals, as pronounced in the case of Sankofa, as well as the safety of our people. And so what the legislation allows is, and it's to have the second reading, it's not laws yet, and we go to Parliament next week. basically what it allows is for the minister to prescribe a space where persons can smoke in public, of course, so it doesn't affect others. And that is honoring and acknowledging people's rights of conscience and belief. So once we're going to have this space, it's going to be festive. It's on the mound. You come, it's going to be nicely decorated, nice furniture, secured, of course, for people over, how old, Alyssa?
I think 16.
18 or 21, I don't even remember. You can go there, you can sit there and have a bird's eye view of the stage as well for the music festival. You'll be able to see, but you'll be able to smoke there, whether it's cannabis, cigarettes, vape pens, whatever it is, cigars, you smoke there. And that is the only space in which you can smoke. If you're smoking outside of that space, then there's a sanction that the law would give that can be enforced by the officers, the police, and possibly, I'm not sure if I could remember if it's ticketable or if it's a matter that you're required to attend court for. But of course, like I said, it's to respect the rights of people who don't want smoke in their face, and of course acknowledge the rights of people who want to smoke in public. So a particular area on the venue would be prescribed by the minister. Hopefully we would make the application subsequent to the legislation being passed to have that area deemed as a prescribed space for smoking. And
so you mentioned that of course there's age restrictions here, so I imagine there will be someone there who checks IDs to
absolutely
ensure that no one sneaks
absolutely in. So you don't need, I don't know if we've confirmed if you need an ID, Mr. Chair, to go into the festival, but definitely to go into the 420 space.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Because of course the government has been one that has been championing the rights of persons with disabilities. I know you in particular, you would have participated recently in a walk where you were blindfolded.
Right,
and you were able to experience some of what a blind person would experience when they're walking. So are there any plans for accessibility for persons who are differently able for the music festival so that they too can enjoy?
Absolutely. As a government, we believe we introduced a whole ministry for aging and disability. And so we hope that policies across the board would apply for persons with disabilities as well. We have spaces in the VIP areas and even spaces on the ground. I think the entrances are friendly for persons with disabilities. Of course, if you're disabled in terms of not being able to see, you're going to need assistance. We don't have that assistance, but we have assistance for anybody else who is disabled or who's coming to, in terms of our access to the venue, spaces on the grounds and even in the stands. So we can accommodate persons with disabilities.
Now, Mr. Williams, as we mentioned, it's the 25th anniversary of the St. Kitts Music Festival. There would have been an absence of a festival during, I remember, for Carrie Festa. There would have been one for a hurricane, I think, if memory serves me correctly.
And COVID.
Right, COVID, of
twice,
course,
right?
For COVID. Yeah. So, can you tell us how this industry, how the music festival itself has rebounded, particularly after the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I would say remarkably, I should say, because we've managed, and I think it goes back to the confidence that our patrons, that our stakeholders have in the festival. Many of them have been with us since we started this journey in 1996. They understood the vision and they have stayed the course with us, and they continue to support the festival after all these years. And we also have patrons who, many of them from overseas, who come every single year. I mean, some have come for the first time and, realize what they've been missing, and so they continue to come year after year. But I think our formula have worked well for us over the years. It's a formula that many have come to love and to enjoy, because we offer something for everyone. And so that has been our main selling point. But the festival as a whole, is an opportunity also for our local artists to be able to showcase their creative talents. So it's a space a forum for them to be able to do that. And at the same time, we try also each year to involve our artisans as well, because we want it to be a complete experience. So when you come there, you're not just getting the music, but you're getting a little bit of our culture, our history, our heritage. And so we try to bring all the elements together in one space so that our visitors, and of course our nationals, can enjoy as well, because many of them have been outside for quite some time, and so they're overwhelmed when they come back and they see some of the things that they grew up with and so on. So it brings back a lot of fun memories and so on. So we have been working to ensure that, I mean, we up the game every year. You know, that the important thing is that we try to improve year after year and introduce new things that can, you know, really elevate the festival to another level as we go about each year.
We're just about out of time for today's program, so I'm going to give you a final word, Mr. Williams, in the sense of inviting persons to tell them what they can look forward to. Quickly, very briefly, look forward.
Well, of course, you know, the festival is all about, well, this year we started specifically a week out, because our intention over the next few years is to expand the festival to make it more than just 3 days. We want it to be a whole week event, so we want folks to come in here for an extended period of time. Of course, as you know, Saturday we jump off the festival. That's the jump off event. We are introducing, we are teaming up with National Carnival and having a jump off event, a jam, so to speak. Then we brought back a gospel element. We are working with the Antioch Baptist Church to feature a gospel fest.
Jermaine Edwards.
Jermaine Edwards as the guest speaker on Sunday. Then on Monday we have activities downtown. Tuesday we have the binge event, because we are also working with our partners in the private sector. And then of course we have Escape on Wednesday, and then the 3 nightly concerts. One can look forward to exhilarating performances, a upgraded facility, because even though the facility is a historic and great one, we want to enhance it. We want the whole experience to start from the time you enter the gate. And you know, so it's not just the music, but we want you to really experience everything. Kitchen, there's a food court. We have specifically set up a food court where you can go and enjoy some of your local delicacies, but at the same time we have a stage over there, so that there'll be entertainment, there'll be screens, so that you know you won't miss anything at all from the main stage. So we have an expanded venue, so that you know one can be comfortable while experiencing the music of the main stage.
And of course it's back at the cricket stadium.
And it's back at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. We're inviting everyone to come out early, because we also have some goodies in store for our early bird patrons. We'll be doing some raffles as well in celebration of the 25th anniversary. So we want folks to come out early and really experience the festival at its best.
Right. Minister, I'll give you the final word.
Okay, so tourism related, the audience really is local and not so much visitors. And so I want to let our stakeholders know that we're going to embark on our consultations starting July 4th to the 21st of July. We'll be meeting with the different groups, the aloe vendor robbers, the taxi and tour operators, hoteliers, restaurateurs, beach vendors, the merchants at Port Sante. So we'd be giving the schedule, announcing the schedule shortly. We will be doing the consultations on revisions to some of the policies. Of interest is the taxi operators policy. Everybody's asking about licenses. We have over 400 persons. We've narrowed it down to, there was a lot of duplication. Initially I said 5. When we look, it's about 400 new applications for persons to ply their trade as taxi operators. So we're starting the consultations, training, as Alistair says, coming up shortly in August as well, so that we can be ready for the new winter and the new cruise season that starts in October. So look out for us. Keep your ears to the ground. We are going to be doing our consultations, the nice part.
Right. Honorable Marsha Henderson and Mr. Alistair Williams, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of InFocus.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks. And we say thank you to our viewers and listeners for joining us this week. We encourage you to join us next week at the same place at the same time. Join
us every Wednesday for InFocus, a weekly talk show produced by the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service, where we provide exclusives with key persons within the government and discuss pertinent, relevant, and interesting matters that affect us all. Tune in every Wednesday, live on ZIZ Radio and streamed live on Facebook at SKNIS Media and ZIZ Online. InFocus, your government, your business.